Two types of people can be found in every class. One who lights up the classroom with a smile and another who is alone and out of place. This is the story of a secret that the two of them share. Our protagonist, Maki, is the later type, so obviously he does not like spring, the start of a new academic year. It is the season of new encounters where everyone has to introduce themselves in front of the whole class. Maki is overthinking about the amount and kinds of things he can share. He hopes that his turn comes in the last so that everyone has lost interest. But his luck is not so great today as the teacher asks him to go first. He introduces himself, but there is nothing to tell about him as he does not really have anything to share. The teacher, however, does not let him go and asks him what he does on the weekends. Maki reluctantly tells that he only watches movies on the weekends. All the class is looking at him, so he is nervous as well. The teacher seems to be oblivious to his sufferings and asks about the type of movies he likes. Maki says that he likes the so-called B movies, likes the ones about the sharks. His sufferings finally end, but now he is fumbling over the fact that he has been a bit too honest than necessary. With this first impression, his position in class is more or less decided. Now comes the time for the most popular girl's introduction. Yu. She is a cheerful girl with a bright personality. Her introduction leaves everyone stunned. She even has a friend who went to the same middle school as her, and she asks her to introduce herself as well. So Yu also introduces herself while making a joke about Yu. Maki knows that these two would be the center of attention of class, but this has nothing to do with him. That is what he thinks at least. After 6 months, Yumi and Yu are still getting along well. The boys secretly started calling Yu the cutest girl in class, while Yumi got the title of the second cutest girl in the class. They are so popular that even Maki, who does not have any friends, heard people talking about them. Conveniently, Maki overhears their conversation about movies, but he is sure that it would not be the kind of movies he likes. Yume is the one with a movie recommendation, but Yu does not like it. However, she ensures that people have different preferences, and she would make it up to her by going somewhere else. Maki watches them leave and figures out his own plans. His mother would be home today, so he would be able to laze around in the house. He would order some pizza and watch movies. He is pretty sure that his experience would be completely different from Yume, who would be watching the movie in a cinema probably. Miyahara overhears some of the boys talking that Yu is more charming, and they cannot help but compare them when the two of them are together. Maki goes with his usual weekend planning, getting the pizza and going to borrow a movie from a shop. On his way there, he watches the groups of friends having fun. Even though he does not hate spending time alone after school, but he wonders if it would be more fun if he had friends. He let this though vanish in his mind and goes to get the movies. While looking at the new edition of movies, Maki is reminded of the boys comparing Yumi and Yu. Even though the person in question did not hear it, it still leaves a bad taste on Maki. It is as if they are looking down on Yumi, even though she did not do anything. While thinking all this, his hand brushes the hand of the person next to him, so Maki apologizes, but is surprised to find Yumi on the scene. She even says that he did not notice her at all even though she has been next to him. The two of them start talking about the movies and surprisingly, they share the same taste. Maki asks about the conversation from earlier when she was planning to go to movie. Yumi says that the half of that conversation was a lie and her main aim was Maki all along. Maki does not understand her at all, so she takes out the introduction form from her bag. It appears that she is not so different from Maki. She likes B movies and lazing around. She asks him to be her friend. Another usual day in Maki's life. His mother is late from work and hurriedly gets ready. She does not forget to make small talks with her son as she gets ready. She tells him to have dinner by himself because she would not come home tonight. Maki is worried about her health, but she says that she is all right. On her way out, she asks if he has made any friends. They just moved here after all. Maki says that he is fine without one, but his mother knows too well that he is prone to loneliness. Maki, on the other hand, thinks that he has a friend to be precise. Yui asked herself to be her friend. There is no one around her that has an interest in B movies, so she must want someone to chat with about them. That must be the only reason for her to be friends with someone like him, Maki thinks. So he asks her to keep their friendship a secret because people might find it weird that she is hanging out with him and may talk bad about her. Yumi agrees and exchanges contact information with him. Thus starts their secret friendship. Ever since then, every Friday, right before the start of the weekend, Yumi visits Maki's house to play with him. They order food, and by the way, they have the same preference in the food as well. After that, they hang out while playing games and watching movies. Yume is actually not good at games, but that is fine. Maki teaches her well. Maki even notices that she eats a lot for a girl and even likes the carbonated drinks with strong taste. He wonders if all girls are like this. Yume catches her staring, so he has no choice but to ask about her food intake. She tells him that she does not deposit much fat as she also participates in sports actively. As for Maki, he could use some exercise, she says so as she pokes a finger in his stomach. Maki lets out a strange noise due to the poking. Yumi starts attacking him on his weak spot now that she knows and is determined to take revenge for beating her in the gaming. After some fighting, Maki is able to make her leave. While leaving, she says that she was surprised of how he invited her to his home right off the bat. Maki tells her that he did not have a choice because he does not know where friends usually hang out. Yume is surprised to hear that but leaves anyways. She is just a friend who visits on Fridays, but she glances at Maki in school while having a conversation with her other friends. Maki is sitting alone in a corner of the courtyard, having his lunch. He goes through the messages of Yumi, thinking that he might have been talking too little. He needs to be careful to not do anything weird with his very first friend. But it is not easy trying to get along with a friend. On the other end of the corner, a girl and a boy have come to talk about something. Two more girls appear behind Maki and he bumps into them. Both parties are surprised to find the other at this location. The girl to arrive behind him is Yu, who knows Maki as well. They peek at the pair on the other end of the corner. The girl on the other end is Yumi, who is being confessed to currently. The one confessing to Yumi is supposed to be a senior, as she called him senpai. Maki is worried that he should not be the one to hear this sort of conversation. However, he is surprised to hear Yumi reject the confession. The senior asks about the reason for rejection, and she tells him that she is not interested in this sort of thing for now. Yu on the other side is happy that he got rejected because he said the same thing to her and on the same spot, no less. Yu even tells him that Yumi is so popular that she has been confessed 5 times. But none of the guys were serious because they kept smiling even after being rejected. She says that she would also go after Yumi if she was a boy as well, and asks if Maki thinks the same. Maki is shocked to be asked such a question and changes the topic tactfully by saying that they should not be eavesdropping on someone's conversation. Yu says that Yumi is a friend, so she was worried about her. Yumi decides to leave, so it is a cue for Yu to take her leave as well. While leaving, Yu asks Maki to keep this eavesdropping a secret from Yumi. Even though he feels like he is doing something wrong by keeping a secret from Yumi, Maki tells Yu that she does not have to worry about it, as he has no close friends in class. Yu exchanges contact number with him, saying that they are going to be friends from now on. Maki is surprised to have another person in his list of friends. Still, even if he has the same hobbies and likes the same things as Yumi, he feels like he is way out of league from Yumi. Maki is spacing out when Yumi asks him about the plans to go out. Maki is obviously excited to know that they would be hanging out after school like real friends, but he is also worried that they would be found out by other students of the school. Maki still feels guilty, so he tells her about eavesdropping the confession. Yui does not mind it, and she did heard people whispering nearby. Maki did not tell her about Yu's presence, so he kept his promise as well. Maki asks about her popularity, and Yumi tells her that she is a bit popular and asks if he is jealous. Maki tells her that he is not jealous because being popular means to be liked by a lot of people, and among them are also the people that she does not like very much, so dealing with all kinds of people must be pretty tough. Maki likes to be honest, so constantly worrying about making people happy could be tiring for him. Yumi tells him that he is exaggerating, but this is what she likes about him, as a friend of course. Maki also tells her that he also likes her as a friend. Oh, there is no need to worry about it. The both of them decide to have a lot of fun on their day out. On the promised day, Yumi tells Yu to go on ahead as she has stuff to do. Yu finds it suspicious, but Yumi is able to make her understand that she really has something to do. Maki arrives at the decided location and worries about his outfit. He is also still worried about bumping into someone from school, but it is too late to cancel the plans right now. Fortunately, Yumi arrives on time, so he pours all her worries on her. Yumi tells him that if they were to bump into someone from school, they would just be honest and tell them their relationship. Yumi laughs that Maki is wearing all black and tells him to wear another color the next time. Yui does not have a specific plan for today, so they go according to Maki's plan. The place that he selected is an anime shop. This is a first for Yumi, so she is really excited. During their time there, Yumi tells Maki to call her by her first name, but he thinks that it is still too forward. Yumi blackmails him that they are not too close probably. Maki tells her that this is not what he meant and adds a stupid at the end of the sentence. Yumi says that since she is stupid, she would go explore the 18+ section of the shop. Maki successfully stops her from doing such a stupid act. After this, they go on with their exploring of the shop. Both of them like the rom-com genre, so their conversation turns out to be pretty fun. After that, they go to grab a bit at a cafe. Meki is still worried about bumping into someone from school here, but Yumi thinks that they have nothing to worry about because they are in casual clothes and look alike a lot. During eating, they talk some more about their interests. Meki is worried that she is spending her time with him rather than her friends. Yumi says that she is with them all week, so there is nothing to worry about. It was actually her brother who influenced her into liking these sorts of things. Soon, she realized that the girls her age did not have the same interests as her. So she decided to be friends with someone of the same interests when she finds one. Surprisingly, the two of them hear the girls on the next table recognize Yumi. Even though they know that Yumi is sitting right next to them, they start talking down on her for rejecting the handsome senior. Maki feels really awkward and bad, but Yumi suddenly starts acting like a lovey-dovey girlfriend with Maki. She tells him to open his mouth so that she can feed him. The girl starts looking towards them, but Maki is still too shocked, so Yumi changes strategy and asks if he wants to feed her instead. Maki feeds her while blushing, but the girls on the next table makes a run, thinking that they got the wrong person because Yumi does not have a boyfriend. Besides, someone like Yumi would not go for a gloomy guy like that. A critical hit on Maki indeed. Yumi is fine by their comments, but is angry that they judged Maki even though they do not know anything about him. Maki tells her to forget it, but she still wants to go ambush them. After this strange situation, they go to an arcade to have fun and they enjoy themselves to the fullest. In class, Yumi remains calm and mature, yet it was just a facade she made to show people. But since they started spending time together, Maki has seen more of her hidden sides. He is glad he became friends with her. Maki and Yumi are having fun while batting. Yumi is really good at hitting the ball, but Maki not so good. Yumi coaches him into hitting the ball and Maki is finally able to hit the ball. The reason that Yumi is so good at sports despite not being in any club is because she has been with Yu since childhood. Yu is talented in everything she does and excels in everything except studies. They play some more, and it is now time to call it a day as it has been quite late. Maki is glad that he came because he was planning to spend the next 3 years alone before he met Yumi. He is sitting alone right now, waiting for Yumi to return from the restroom, but a problem arises. The most popular girl in school, Yu, has arrived. On top of that, she is here with her friends, so it would be really bad if Yumi comes back right now. Maki tactfully calls Yumi, but does not say anything, lets his conversation with Yu be heard on the other end. Yu is glad that he is here with a friend because he is always alone in the classroom. She tells him that he can always call her if he ever feels lonely. Maki can clearly see the dark aura around her friends and replies while trembling. He wants to leave, but Yu invites him to join their group. Even her friends try to tell her that she might be bothering Maki, but she says if they are the ones who do not want to play with him. Charmed by her puppy eyes, her friends profoundly say that they actually want to have fun with him. Yumi is still hearing the whole conversation on the other end without saying anything. Even with everyone's agreement, Maki kindly refuses the offers and says that he is glad that everyone wants to have fun together, but he does not want to be the person to bring down the mood, and it would be tiring as well. He also tells them that he is meeting a friend today and the both of them do not like this sort of thing. He apologizes once again and takes his leave. Later he meets up with Yumi, but he does not know what to say to her. However, Yumi is the one to start talking and tells him that she used to stand out a lot in the past. She used to need the student council president in the past and liked being depended on. But this also brought great expectations for her to bear. On the subway, she tells Maki to take the seat because she has to reply to Yu, who is asking for advice because she thinks she made Maki angry. Maki panics after hearing that because he thinks that he ruined the mood and ran away. Yumi tells him to not worry because she is not angry, but is concerned that she might have been too pushy while inviting him. Yu knows that Maki did not meant to offend her, and she is someone who understands. Yumi tells him that Yu is a good girl, and it is not like she hates group activities herself. Maki tells her that she could have called out to him earlier, but Yumi says that it was difficult because she never had a guy friend before. Maki falls asleep while thinking about things and Yumi thanks him for being her friend. It is Monday and Maki is overthinking about the stuff he said to Yu. He thinks that he has been too rude and now her followers would not leave him alone. He even prepares himself to be ready to transform from being a loner to being ostracized. Contrarily to his expectations, Yu comes forward and apologizes for being too pushy. Yumi also arrives on the scene and tells Yu that she should not shock Maki like that and let him reach the classroom at least. In the classroom, the two of them apologizes to each other and make up. The class also hears their conversation and thinks that this is a weird pairing of popular and gloomy. The oblivious Yu announces that they have shared the contact information as well, and this comes as a news to not only the whole class, but to Yumi as well. Yu wants to blabber more, but the teacher arrives in the class and she loses her opportunity. The class directs their questions towards Yumi to know the relationship between Maki and Yu, but Yumi does not know anything. The gossip keeps fueling in the class, and the misunderstanding is born that the two of them are dating. They at least decide to ask Yu about it during recess. Yumi is shocked by this turn of events, and Maki can feel the staring daggers pointed at him. Finally, during the recess, Yu is swarmed with questions from the girls, while Maki is surrounded by dark-looking boys. Even during lunch break, the same situation repeats. After school, Maki is dreaded and is pained that Yumi is not replying to his messages today of all days. On the other hand, Yumi is spaced out and not even replying to Yu. In such a case, Yu appears as a hero and grabs both Yumi and Maki and is able to escape from the school successfully. Yumi and Maki are both surprised, so Yu explains that she wanted to talk with Maki, so she had to take him to a quitter place. As for the reason for dragging Yumi, it was just a force of habit. Yumi says that she does not want to be here if Yu is going to talk to Maki. Maki can see that her straight-laced student personality is cold. They do not even know where the bus is taking them. So one thing leads to another, and the three of them end up at Maki's place. The girls make themselves comfortable at his house, while Yumi still keeps pretending that it is her first time in his house. After the refreshments are served, Yumi asks the question that has been bothering her. How did the two of them exchange contact information? Maki considers coming clean in front of her, but Yumi starts blabbering all sorts of theories from the girls in her class, and Maki now has no way to start the conversation. However, Yu comes clean and tells her that she was actually there eavesdropping the confession with Maki, and that is when they exchanged numbers. Yumi suspects that she probably threatened Maki, but Yu says that she talked to him just on that day and last Friday. Yumi feels relieved somehow and says that she would have told her if she asked anyway, so there was no need to peep. Yu explains that she was only there to help in case of anything suspicious from the guy. Yumi flicks her and Maki and forgives the two of them. Yu apologizes to Maki for dragging him in this whole situation and says that she feels lighter with all the secrets exposed. Maki also agrees with her and feels like it was his fault that she had to endure people's gazes towards her. Yu thanks him for turning her down for his friend's sake because he knows that what his friend likes and dislikes. Maki says that he turned her down for his own sake because he likes to hang out with that friend very much. Yu comments that he really likes that friend very much, it seems. Both Maki and Yumi blushes at her comment. Yu is only looking at Maki and says that he is looking really cute right now, just like a hamster. Maki cannot handle her straightforward nature, but thankfully Yumi changes the topic and reminds Yu that she wanted to talk about something. Yu finally remembers and asks Maki to become her friend. Yu and Yumi enter class together like usual, but Yu greets Maki as she enters the classroom. The whole class notices this, but Yu says that she was only greeting a friend. That is right, Maki ended up saying yes to her, wanting to be friends since he could not think of a reason to say no, but now he is sticking out like a sore thumb. Maki asks a class fellow a simple question, but he ends up running away, making Maki realize that he is turning into a complete loner. Yumi texts him, apologizing for her princess of a friend. During lunch break, the three of them go to a secret place that Maki found in the school. They are surprised to find that Maki makes his own bento and can even make sweets as well. Somehow, he has more power than the girls. Yu loses her senses after hearing that, and the girls ask when does he usually bakes. He says that he usually bakes stuff when he gets hungry and sees the ingredients in the house. The girls tell him that normal people just do to the convenience store at this point. Yu wants to eat pancakes and decides to go to his home to try some. She also gets permission for Yumi as well, so they plan to hang out later. Yumi does not seem too happy about the plan, but does not say anything. When Yu goes to buy tea and the two of them are alone, Yumi says that Yu is a good girl with a bright personality, just like a puppy. She even asks if people are harassing him for being close to Yu. Maki assures her that he is not being harassed directly and has always been a loner, so it does not matter. Yumi warns him about the future because Yu is the #1 cutest girl. Maki remains quite so. She says to herself that everyone around them is saying it anyways. Maki tells her to not bother about stuff like this because the boys are only messing around. However, even to Yumi, Yu has always been the cutest girl inside and outside. And she is sure that Maki would also like her in no time. Before Maki can react, Yu returns and rings the brightness with her. Maki wonders if Yumi meant that as a girl. In the dressing room, Yu tells the girls about Maki that he is a good person and listens to her well. He is like Yumi in a sense. After school, the girls arrive at Maki's home as promised. Maki tells them to quit staring and find something else to play with while he makes the pancakes. The girls find games in the living room and start playing. When Maki is done making pancakes, he arrives in the living room only to find an out-of-shape Yu. The reason for her state is the consecutive defeat by Yumi's hands. Of course, Yumi is good. It is the game that Maki taught. Yu asks about the reason for her to be so good at it, and Yumi says that she has been playing her brother's games. The three of them enjoy the pancakes. Yumi says that she cannot make anything even when she has the recipe. Yu reminds her of the charcoal cookies she made on the Valentine's Day. Since the both of them attended an all-girls school, they just exchanged the sweets among themselves, but it was pretty fun in itself. Maki knows about their middle school. It is pretty famous school in the area which extends from elementary school to the high school. He wonders why the two of them decided to leave the school on their high school. Coming back on the scene, Yu suggests to resume playing the game. Maki tells Yumi to hold back a little in this round and she agrees. However, Yu has gotten very good instantly and is giving a hard time to Yumi. Maki also joins the game and starts getting along with Yu. Yumi watches this from the side and remains quiet. When both the girls leave, Maki thinks that Yu really is a good girl with a cheerful personality, but he likes it when it was just him and Yumi. He realizes that he is thinking weird and blames it all on tiredness. On their way back, Yu forgot to ask Maki about his free time because she wants to return the favor. Yumi tells her to count her out on that day as Yu wants to get closer to Maki. Yu does not understand what she is implying and calls Maki to confirm his free time. However, Maki rejects her and says that he is not free on Friday. Hearing this, Yumi feels surprised and says that she forgot her phone in his house and goes to grab it alone. Maki opens the door and asks if she forgot something, but Yumi only pinches his nose and tells him to meet tomorrow. She runs away, but Maki does not understand what this was all about. It is the long-awaited Friday, so Yumi is at Maki's place today. Maki even got the latest volume of their favorite manga, so the two of them decide to read it together. Once they start reading, they realize that they are too close and asks if they smell. Both of them do not smell bad, so they continue reading the manga. Once they finish reading, the both of them are in tears upon the happy ending. They decide to calm down before talking about the book, so they decide to read the previous volumes. After an hour, Maki realizes that they have not talked at all for a long time and stands to make some coffee, but he finds Yumi sleeping on the bed. He finds her comfortable enough to snore and sits beside her. After some time, Maki hears someone wake her up and thinks that it is Yumi, so he apologizes for falling asleep as well. But the one waking him turns out to be his mother, who warns him to have a good explanation for this situation. After a series of apologies, Maki's mother calls Yumi's mother and explains the situation. She also takes her permission for Yumi to sleep over as it is already so late. She plans on sending her home with Maki tomorrow so that the two of them can apologize to Yumi's mother as well. Maki tells her to use the bed and his mother gives her pajamas, so Yumi leaves to take a bath. With Yumi out of the scene, now there is only Maki and his mother, so the real test starts now. She has been wondering why his room looks so clean on Fridays, and now she knows the reason. She asks for how long has he been taking her to his room. Her words sound strange, so Maki wants a rough phrasing of the sentence. He tells her that Yumi has been visiting for the last 2 months. His mother does trust him but says to be careful because Yumi is a girl after all. Maki looks too down, so his mother tells him that it is off limits to touch her cheeks while she slept. Maki is surprised to find that even cheeks are off limits, but denies having any thought of doing something like this. His mother teases him some more, and even Yumi, who has come to ask about the towel, overhears this part of the conversation. Maki tries his best to clear his name that he would never do something like that. Even though he told her to take the bed, he took out a new futon. This incident made him realize that Yumi is a girl. Even though she whines when she loses a game, eats a lot of junk food, and makes strange noises when she sleeps, she is still a girl and Maki is a boy. It seems like this realization hit him too late. So when Yumi enters the room, he panics and looks around to see if there is anything here that a girl should not see. She borrowed his shirt because the pajama was too big. Maki tells her that his mother instructed to be not in the same room as her, so it is better to head towards the living room. However, Yumi says that it is all right because she would scream if he attacked her. Maki says with all his strength that he would not do something like this. Yumi gives him permission to sit next to her, so he does. After some small talk, Maki asks if she plans to tell you about their friendship. Even though it was his idea to keep it a secret, but he feels sad when Yumi keeps her distance when the three of them are together. Yumi says that she would tell her soon and may receive a flick on the forehead for keeping the secret for so long. It seems like Maki's mother has finished her bath, so Maki leaves in a hurry, but Yumi tells him goodnight. Maki does not think he can get a wink of sleep, though. It is Saturday and Maki is in front of Yumi's house. He is not here to have fun, though. The main reason for this visit is to apologize for keeping Yumi for so late. Yumi sneaks a peek and says her greetings. Her mother greets her as well as Maki, who is behind her. He apologizes immediately, but her mother forgives him, saying that it was Yumi's fault. Yumi does not want to apologize because she has been apologizing since yesterday. Her mother tells her that she has been safe because of Maki and his mother, or she would have been in a lot of trouble. So the two of them apologize once again, and her mother forgives them. She invites Maki to breakfast, so he also joins them. Yumi tells him that her father should have already left for work, and her brother would be sleeping for a while, so they are safe. Maki says that he would greet them next time, and Yumi agrees, but her mother is surprised that there is going to be a next time. He is surprised that Yumi brought a boy over. Yumi asks her to not tell this to Yu's family. Her mother asks Maki how they met, because Yumi does talk about a friend but never answers any of her questions. Now she thinks that it was because she was actually talking about her boyfriend. Yumi gets irritated and tells Maki to not say anything. Maki thinks that he would be happy and proud if there really is a next time coming to her precious friend's house. The cultural festival is coming soon, so they need to choose members of the committee from the class. There are no volunteers, so the teacher prepared a drawing lot to decide on the members. Maki, with not so great luck, draws the jackpot and becomes a member of the committee. He is sad about it, but also feels like it is better for him to help around instead of busy people with club activities. His thoughts are broken down by ever-bright Yu, who is excited about the festival and even invites Maki to look around the festival together if they have time. The boys in the class are not so happy to hear this, and one of them finally says that the girls' side must have it rough because they would have to cover for Maki as well. The atmosphere in the class gets heavy. Some girls even says that the boys are being like this because they have a crush on Yu. Yue also does not like this comment, obviously, but she does not say anything. Even Maki thinks that they are right because he cannot do anything right. However, Yu stands in front of the class and asks if they hate Maki. The whole class falls silent at her question. Yu continues on to say that she would step up for the committee because she wants to work with Maki. The teacher also agrees, but Yumi announces that she hit the jackpot and thus selected. Yu's whole tempo breaks and she is now blank. Yumi takes charge of the things and tells her that she can take the position if she wants, but she should first apologize to the whole class for lashing out like that. Yu does so and says that she just wants the whole class to enjoy since this is a class event. At the end, it is decided that Maki and Yumi would be the class committee. Yumi tells Yu that she did not do anything wrong, and Yu once again apologizes to everyone. Yumi asks Maki to meet her after school. After school, Yumi and Maki are busy with the festival preparations. Maki tells her that she is an amazing person, but Yumi says that he did nothing and the real amazing person is actually Yu. Even though people might hate her or it, she got angry for her friend. She was just like a heroine from a drama, and Yumi cannot pull that feat off. Maki notices that she seems kind of down and thinks that it might be because the homeroom was a disaster. He plans to give his all during this event. It seems like Yu has been waiting for Yumi after school. She thanks her for stopping her on time, or else she would have said something even worse. Yume thanks her instead, but does not tell her the reason. The two of them head together to whatever place they would be going. To decide what the class would be doing in the festival, the whole class participates. The atmosphere from just a few days ago seems like a joke now. It is all thanks to Yu and her cheerful atmosphere. The boys, of course, want to do a maid cafe, but this has been already picked by the seniors, so their only option is to do an exhibit. They can either make decorations or make posters, and the area allocated is the rooftop. After this announcement, the hype kind of dies and no one is interested anymore. Surprisingly, Maki has an idea, and that is the pixel art using empty cans. So after school, Yumi and Maki sit to discuss the plan. Maki says that he wants to do his best since both Yumi and Yu stood for him. Yumi tells him that everyone has lost some of the motivation since they were saying that doing the decorations feels like they are the background characters. However, Maki thinks that there are no main or background characters in life as everyone is doing their best. Yumi finds him remarkable for thinking like that. Yu also arrives, offering to help the two of them. Maki goes to them while Yumi keeps sitting, looking at the blank piece of paper. It seems like she did not hit the jackpot. She wonders why can she never be honest. Yu is busy separating the different colored cans. The boys think that she still looks cute even though she is surrounded by trash. Yume and Maki are discussing about the pixel art. Yume has already made a sketch. Yu arrives to inform them of the cans that contain cigarettes in them. They decide to separate those as well and wash the juice ones just in case. Yu looks at the art and wants to try drawing. Maki tells her that the sketch is already done, but Yume speaks louder and tells her to try it. Yu draws a sketch that looks really good, so Yumi says to use the one she made. She even tells Yu to color it as well. Maki wants to say something, but Yumi goes to photocopy the drawing that Yu drew just in case. Yu wonders if she was able to help because she was the reason that all the work fell on their shoulders. She still does not know that Yume and Maki are friends and tries to explain that Yume is a good girl. She even says that Yume is her prince from grade school, so when she decided to go to another high school, Yu did her best to follow her here. When Maki first saw them, he really invited them thinking that they were besties, but that does not seem to be the case at all. At the photocopy machine, some girls come and praise Yume for her drawing, but she tells them that Yu is the one who drew it. She even praises her for pulling off everything. However, the girls tell her that the one who can stop Yu when she is being hectic is only Yumi. They even thank her for stopping her in the homeroom a few days ago. They say that the two of them are a set who needs each other. Yu and Yumi are in Yu's room, working on the drawing. Yu tells her that their friends Sane and Manaka are going to visit them soon, so it is going to be a reunion. The next day, the drawing is finished, but Yu and Yumi does not look like they slept at all. Maki texts Yumi that she did well and to take a good sleep. No need to come to his house even if it is Friday. Maki is the one doing to finish the pixel art. It has been a while since he has been alone on a Friday. He busied himself in working on the art, but it still felt too quiet. He finally calls Yumi, who is taking an after-meal nap. Even though he is the one to call, he does not know what to say or why exactly he called her. After fumbling around, he says that he is in the final stages of the art and wonders if he should be the one to do it alone. He invites her over for work and asks if they can just hang out, other than doing the work. Yumi laughs at him for being lonely because he cannot see her and calls him a rabbit. Maki says that he is not lonely, so he can just do it all himself. This time, Yumi is the one to say that she would like to hang out with him because she is a little lonely. Maki tells her that he would go pick her up. The two of them talk about picking up empty cans from the pizza shop as well. On their way, they are spotted by Yu, but she does not approach them. The two of them arrive at Maki's house. Yumi looks at the art and likes it quite a lot. Maki tells her to sleep if she is tired, and this time he would be sure to wake her up on time. They have pizza together and talk a lot. After a while, Yumi confesses that she cheated while drawing the lots. Maki is not angry because she did not cheat to win. After all, everyone was saying that pairing with him was a penalty. Yumi says that a real friend was supposed to stand in front of everyone like you. Maki takes her hand and tells her that she has saved him in her own way, and he is happy to be in the same committee as her. Yumi is about to say something, but the doorbell rings. Maki goes to open the door and finds Yu on the door. She apologizes for disturbing and asks if Yumi is inside. Maki knows that Yumi still has not told Yu about their friendship. Yumi comes out at the front door and tells Yu to come inside. However, Yu plans to leave soon because she does not want to disturb the two of them. She has been noticing that Yumei leaves after school, and when Maki served her tea, it came with milk and no sugar even when Yumi did not ask for it. Maki explains the reason for their friendship and the reason to keep it a secret, but Yumi remains quiet. Yu understands but asks why they did not tell her when she already knows their hobbies and would not have told anyone else about it. Maki tries to explain, but Yumi says that she did not want to tell Yu at all. She tails her leave after saying that. She tells Yu to not come with her and thanks Maki on her way out. On the other hand, Yu is shocked to see Yumi like this because this is a first for her. The next day, Yumi left Maki's text on read. However, Yu and Yumi arrived in class together, like usual. There is no way to talk to them, so Yu texts Maki and tells him that Yumei came to her house this morning and apologized for her behavior. Even in class, Maki can see that Yumei is behaving like usual. But he knows that something is amiss, so he goes to ask her to step out to talk. Yui say that she has to direct everyone here, but Yu says that they can manage on their own since they have the blueprints. Yumei has no choice but to go with Maki right now. The class is curious about the atmosphere, but Yu handles it well and tells them to get back to work. Umi scolds Maki for acting in such a suspicious way. Now everyone is going to get the wrong idea. Maki says that she was the one who kept ignoring her, so he had to do it. However, Maki does not ask about anything and continues doing his work. He does not want to force Yumei and just wants to be there for her as her friend. Just like she does not inquire about his loner self and his father, he also would not ask about the things she is not comfortable with. Yumei is so touched by his words that she hugs him from behind. Yumei always thought that she was stronger than this. When in grade school, she notices that the girl on the bus was crying, so she went after her. That girl was Yu, and this was their first encounter. Yu had just moved in this area, so she did not have any friends yet. Yumei offered to walk home together, and they got closer. Yu told her that she had to leave her previous school because everyone kept their distance due to her brighter hair color. She was sure that it would be the same here as well, but Yumi became her first friend. Yumei finds it strange as well. If it is something she can do for Yu, she would not hold back. She knew instinctively that this girl should not be left alone. Yuan introduced her to her friends as well. They finally got in the same class. She was a sacredly cat and a crybaby, but in truth, she always wanted to believe in friendship and school. Her smile was cute and precious. It was around that time that people calling them a prince and a princess, and Yumi liked her title a lot. Yuan wanted her to smile, so she was able to stay strong and thought that she would be able to do so in the future as well. Even when she was tired, she would take rest in secret, and as long as she could get over it, everything would be fine. She had no plans to lean on or tell anyone, or so she thought. Right now, she is literally leaning on Maki, who does not know what to do. She starts calling him stupid and idiot and asks why he is so kind. She says that his kindness is the only thing good about him. If that is taken away, he would be an idiot just like her. Maki wants to look at her, but tells him to not look. She then apologizes for her behavior. Maki says that it really was scary when she was ignoring him, but he is not angry at all. He can finally look at her face, but she is not crying right now. Yumi then thanks him and says that she needs to be honest with everyone, even with herself as well. Maki knows that they have not been friends for long, and it might be wrong to call them close. He can tell that she believed in him just now. He tells her that he is on her side. The exhibit for the cultural festival is ready and looks good. This means that everyone is free now. Maki thought that it would not be possible, but they were somehow able to complete it without even paying too much attention to it. He shares all his thoughts with Yumi, encouraging her that if he can do something out of his character, then she can pull it off as well. Yu arrives on the scene and brings drinks for them. She sits with them for a while and, thinking that she is on the way, tries to leave. However, Yumei grabs her hand and tells her that she has something to tell her. It was around the start of middle school since Yui started thinking about it. Since then, no matter where they went, people considered them a pair. Yu, who stands out, and Yumei, who is always by her side. Even at that time, Yumi liked her precious friend for having a talent for various things. When she heard the girls say that if they can become Yu's friend, they can brag about it, Yumi did not understand their words. Some girls went to invite Yu on a trip, but when she mentioned Yumi, they back away. Yumi came across those girls and faced their hostility, but she still did not understand anything. It felt unpleasant, but it was not like they did anything to her. She thought that they were compatible and liked each other's company. so they were close and always together. But around the time they got in third year of middle school, Yui started to notice the hostility towards her. But she did not really care about what those strangers said about her. She invited her friends Sane and Manaka on movies, but the two of them refused, saying that they were too busy on the weekend. However, Yui found them together with Yu on the weekend, and that left her in shock. Yui did not understand as to why her friends would lie to her, so she went a bit closer to her. Yu wanted to call Yumi, but they told her that she was busy with her studies as she is worried about her grade. The young Yumi could not understand why her friends do not wish to hang out with her. Is it the movie she chose, or is it something else? She decided to pretend she did not see this. She believed that it was the only time that the two of them lied to her, but it is not just this time, rather it felt like that all the time. So Yui decided to change schools for the high school under the pretext that the tuition is too much here. Yu instantly asked if she could apply with her. For a moment, Yui felt truly happy. However, something like this can happen again. As long as she is with Yu, Yumi would keep doubting the ones around her and would always be worried about being left alone. But she understands that it is not Yu's fault at all. So Yumi confronted her two friends at the last day. They told her that they were jealous that she was Yu's best friend. Everyone said that Yumi was not doing anything special, she was normal, so they tried to do the same thing. Yui was happy that they were at least genuine to Yu, so she said her final goodbye to the both of them. That day, she started to believe that she was the problem. If both of them were princesses, and no one had anything to say about either of them, things would have been different. But since one of them is a prince, the people keep asking why the princess chose a prince like her. But she cannot blame them. She was also charmed by Yu the first time she saw her. She decided to not pay any mind to it, but it was hard after all. After hearing all that, Yu says that Sane and Manaka are the worst because Yumi is her best friend. Yumi, however, tells her that even though she likes Yu, she has started to hate her say that. After saying that, Yumi leaves to cool her head. Maki decides to go after Yumi because he can feel that the two of them are alike. He finds her in an empty classroom, crying and blaming herself. She hates herself for hating to be compared to Yu. Maki can tell that she wanted to hide this friendship from Yu because she thinks that he would be taken from her as well. Maki hands her the tissues and praises her for doing great. On the other hand, Yu is sitting on the rooftop, thinking about the like but hate propaganda. It is finally the cultural festival day. After talking with Yumi, Maki suggested to take a break from their Friday meetings as Yumi has a lot to think about. Yui asks him about his real feelings, so he tells that he wants to spend time with her, but also want her to get along with Yu. Yumi makes up her mind and invites Yu on the rooftop once again. Yumi apologizes for keeping secrets from her, but Yu also has to apologize or not realizing her sufferings all this time. Yumi says that she wants to continue being her friend and is going to hang out with her more to make up for the time she was ignoring her. However, Yu does not like the idea of spending less time with Maki just to make up to her, so she punishes the both of them to walk around the festival while holding hands. This encounter is enough to see that Yumi is usual self again, and the two of them made up. So Maki enjoys the festival with her to the fullest. Today is the usual hangout at Maki's place after such a long time. They have the junk food and the games. Maki and Yumi have so much fun together that they totally forget that Yu is here as well. However, she was the one to suggest that she wants to become a ghost and observe the two of them. However, she left them alone after being a ghost for a while and took her leave. Both the festival and putting everything back in order ended without accidents. Yu met with her older friends and everything was smooth sailing. However, when Yumi and Maki were busy cleaning up after cultural festival, the class was busy spreading gossips about their hand-holding. So Maki finally suggests to reveal to everyone that they are friends and even agrees for her to come of the first name basis. But the first time they call each other by their first names, they blush so hard, and it is embarrassing for both of them. Yumi asks if he likes her, but Maki denies it, saying that it has a deeper meaning and should not be taken lightly. However, Yui says that she loves him. She then decides to take her leave. Maki tells her to wait until he can wholeheartedly say that he likes her as well. Now that he knows what friendship is, he wants things to progress slowly. Yui asks if he meant to date her only after wedding has been arranged, and laughs at him for being so serious. On her way out, she says that she would wait for him but kisses him on the cheek anyways. Maki is surprised but offers to take her home even though it is so bright outside. Maki does not like winter. How can he bear to leave his warm bed and go to school where he has no friends? Suddenly, He remembers that it was a thing of the past and things are different now, so he gets up in a second and gets ready. He has a friend now who has come to pick him up. She is here too early, so she has to wait for him to get ready. Maki gives her coffee while she waits. Maki thinks that he is going to be late, but there is still time for school. Somehow, their relationship is much like that of a couple's right now. On their way to school, Yumi says that it is cold, so Maki extends his hand for her to grab. But they are not able to hold hands for much longer because Yu arrives. She teases the two of them, a common hobby of hers. Yu asks if Yumi is cute and Maki thinks that she really is cute. He did not even said anything and Yumi tells him to shut up, probably because his face says it all. Another noteworthy event is that their exhibit got the special award from the school. Due to this reason, the class fellows started to look at him in a different light. Lots of things happened, but everything finally settled down, so Maki wants to confess to Yumi now. So decides on a date and decides to call her over to confess to her. He asks her on the text, but she says that she is busy that day. The reason for that is the school party. Maki thought it had nothing to do with him and did not fill out the form for it. Maki consoles himself by saying that it does not have to be that particular day. It seems like Nina has also joined them and tells about her newly acquired boyfriend. Maki observes that everyone gathers courage to confess, so he wants to do the same with Yumi as well. On their way back, Yumi tells him that her middle school friends would also be coming to the part, so it could be really awkward. But she has already paid the fees and plans on eating all the food she can and leave. She tells him that she really wanted to spend time with him as well. Ever since she kissed him, Maki cannot help but notice her lips whenever he is careless. However, right now, Yumi is the one staring at his lips. The reason is simple, because his lips are too dry. So she takes out a lip cream and applies on his lips. Maki asks if she is okay with the indirect kiss. Yumi, however, disappoints him that this lip balm is new. However, she does not mind it as long as the other party is okay with it. She takes her leave, leaving the lip balm with him. Maki has to spend the Christmas alone. The then remembers that it was last Christmas Eve when High parents got divorced. Maki does not know the reason of their divorce. His father only apologized before leaving. He ended up remembering the whole thing and it did not leave a good aftertaste. He is interrupted by Yumi, who came to invite him on lunch. Maki notices that he has been spending more time with them lately and the reason is to protect Yu. More people would be coming after her near Christmas, so she wants her around her friends all the time. She became even more of a focus because all the hopes on Yumi are gone since she got Maki now. It seems like Yumi did not know that the whole school thinks like that and she panics. Yu tells that normally the ones to approach her are okay except for a few weirdos. Like the ones who say to go to a private corner even though it is their first time talking to each other. Even Maki finds it scary. The girls leave for the cafeteria, leaving Maki alone since he brought a bento.
Hey!
A guy approaches him, demanding to talk to him and takes him away. The one to bring Maki at this private place is Sekai, who is in their class and is also the pitcher in the baseball team. The reason he dragged Maki here is to ask advice regarding Yu. He has liked her since entrance ceremony and thought that he would be happy just looking at her, but since they have the last 4 months remaining in the same class, he wants to confess his love. He wants Maki's help because Maki is close with Yumi and the guy also wants to be Yumi's friend. After hearing this rubbish, Maki declines to help him. Maki knows that Seki is serious about his feelings, but he does not want to ruin the peace between the two friends once again. Seki looks gloomy but cheers up after a while, saying that he is going to find the opportunity to confess at the part. He even says that Maki rejected him quite firmly and that made him have a better opinion of him. Maki thinks that the two of them could have become friends if the timing was right. But this thought takes him back in his memories of middle school. Maki could never get along with the other kids at school, but his home was his sanctuary. His dad always had to transfer jobs, so he had to transfer schools multiple times as well. He never knew when the next change was going to come. Despite everything, when he came back from school, his mother was always there. Even if his dad was coming home very late at night, even if he did not like going to school, he liked his home. On the way back, Yumi asks Maki about his conversation with Seiki. It seems like she was able to see them together when she was at the cafeteria. Maki thinks for a moment and asks if they see Seki as a strange guy. Yume and the others do think of him as strange because he seems to care only about his club. She even thinks that Maki and Seki makes an interesting combo. Maki also agrees that because the two of them are different in all aspects. After all, Maki is in the go-home club and Seki is in the baseball club. Yume is enjoying this conversation, but Maki looks a bit pensive. He thought that just looking at her would make her happy, but he at least wants to tell her how he feels. Making this decision, he finally asks her if there is a way to meet up after the party. He knows that she is going to attend the event, but since it would be Christmas Eve, he was wondering if they could meet after the event. He just wants to meet for a while and wants to tell her something as well. However, he makes sure to make it clear that he is not expecting her to stay the night at his place again, so there is no need to call him a pervert. Yume is taken aback a bit, but still says that they can meet after the party, which is going to be ending around 9 at night. The two of them remain shy for a while, and then Maki tells her to tell her mother properly that she is going to be late at home on the Christmas Eve. He would also inform his mother about her visit. Yume comes home looking pensive. As soon as she enters, she informs her mother about her plans. Maki is on his way home when he receives a message from Yumi. She informs him that she talked to her mother and even told her that she would be coming home quite late on the Christmas Eve. It does not impose any deep meaning, right? Yui told her mother that she would be coming home late on the Christmas Eve and quite late at that. This thought could not let Maki sleep. He tries to convince himself that she just wanted to convey that she would not get in any trouble even if they stay after the event, and tells himself to stop overthinking this matter. Maki comes out of the room and finds his mother in the living room with a cigarette in her hand. He greets her and points that it has been a while since she smoked. His mother tells him that she could not relax at all recently due to her job. However, it is nothing as compared to the last year. Maki remembers that it was this time of the last year when she was getting divorced. He hesitates to tell her about his and Yumi's plans on the Christmas Eve, but his mother figures it out on her own. She even assures him that she is going to call Yumi's mother to talk about it. Maki does not know when the two mothers exchanged phone numbers, but they are friends now. His mother still wonders how he managed to become friends with such a cute girl. But she is not alone to think that even Maki wonders about it sometimes. Maki's mother asks him if Yumi plans to spend the night here like last time. His instant answer is a no. His mother is sure that this is going to be a date between the two of them. Despite being embarrassed, Maki tells himself to remain calm and tells her that they are just two friends hanging together. Besides, it is not going to be just the two of them. Yu is also excited to be invited to Maki's Christmas party. Of course, Maki had no idea about it and completely zoned out against her questions. Actually, a night before, Yui told Yu that she has to go somewhere after the Christmas event, so she cannot walk her home. Yuman wanted to tell her in advance so that Yu can arrange to go home with someone else. However, Yu figures out that it must be about Maki, so she teases Yumi for being so lovey-dovey. Yui tells her that they are not dating yet. Yu teases her even more for meeting him even though they are not dating yet. Yui gets triggered and tells her that they are just two friends meeting up the day before the Christmas. In fact, Yu can also join if she wants to. Yu gets surprised at the sudden invitation and asks if this is really okay. Now that Maki knows the whole situation, he could understand how they got to this point. Yumi looks quite nervous even now. Maki can understand her though because even he was feeling nervous, so she must be like that as well and could not handle the pressure. If that is how she feels, he cannot rush things, but nevertheless, he does feel a bit disappointed. Yumi sincerely apologizes, but Maki tells her that she does not need to worry. He has never been to a Christmas party with his friends before, so he is really looking forward to it. Besides, the fact that the two of them would be meeting each other did not change, so he is really happy. Yumi feels shy after hearing that and stabs him with her finger. Yu, who is talking to Nina, calls for them and tells them that Nina says if she broke up with her boyfriend, she would also come to the party. Nina announces in her defense that she is not going to break up with him. The four of them laugh and head forward. Maki notices the ongoing morning baseball practice when someone grabs him from behind. The one to grab him is none other than Seki. He says that he forgot to tell Maki about something which is about Yumi. Maki is even more interested in this conversation now that Yumi is involved. Seki tells him that Yumi was already known as a cute and cool girl from the start, but she has been the talk to everyone's mouth recently. Some guys even asked Seki to introduce them to Yumi. Maki seriously asks what Seki did about it. Fortunately, Seki is not an acquaintance of Yumi, so he refused them. What he wanted to tell Maki is to not let his guard down since he has not confessed to her yet. Maki is surprised that Seki said everything on the mark. Seki tells him to take it as a friend's advice. Yume and the others have noticed that Maki is being held behind, so Yu comes to ask if there is something wrong. Seki gets flustered to see her, but Yu does not notice. She even says that the two of them are not seen together usually and also encourage Seki on his morning practice. Seki remains silent with his face red the whole time while Yu goes back, not knowing the damage she has caused. Maki tells Seki to go for it as well. Maki is sitting in his classroom lost in thoughts. He knows that rushing things up is a bad idea, but he and Yumi are already very close friends. Besides, he cannot confess to her the day he planned to. He was the one to say that they should take things slowly. Since the two of them went to the arcade, they have not done anything different. This is when an idea hits him. They have only went out once, and this time, he does not want to keep it a secret from his classmates. He is about to text her but stops thinking that he is being too desperate. He does want to meet her, but it has not been that long since that time, so it is a little creepy. He is getting dizzy for thinking too much at once, but all of his thoughts stop when Yumi comes and sits in front of him suddenly. Maki is even a bit late in answering her, so Yumi asks if he was busy. He cannot tell her that he was thinking of asking her on a date, so he just says that he was not doing anything important. So Yui starts talking about her business and shows him a poster of a recently released film on her phone. She asks him to watch it together on next Friday. Maki is surprised to hear that, but he asks if she wants to go out next Saturday because he was thinking of hanging out that day. Yui asks if he wants to hang out at his own place or somewhere else. Maki tells her that he was thinking of making it a date. Yume is a bit surprised but agrees anyways. The two of them remain silent while blushing for a while. Yume is the one to come out of the silence zone and tries to clarify that she cannot help but be excited about the new movie. After the panicking, she points at him to say that he is going to need a date on the next Saturday, but he should also make sure to be free on the afternoon of the next Friday because she wants to shop for the occasion. Yume even reminds him that the two of them agreed on going it the right way the next time. She tells him that she would do her best to look as cute as possible, so he should also get some stylish clothes as well. Maki is obviously surprised by this sudden attack. He tries to refuse the stylish clothes part, but Yume remains steadfast, so he has no choice but to agree to her.